Don?
All right, Sandra, let's bring in Wisconsin Republican Congressman Mike Gallagher. Congressman, thanks for being with us. Let me just dig down a little bit deeper on what Lydia Hu was just reporting. And let me pull up from an article that Bari Weiss did in the Free Press, that actual quote from the Network Contagion Research Institute that did this report. It says that the report finds that at least 200 American colleges and universities illegally withheld information on approximately $13 billion in undisclosed contributions from foreign regimes, many of which are authoritarian. And Bari asks the question, are authoritarian regimes, many of them from the Middle East, helping to fuel this anti-Semitic rhetoric, sentiment, and potentially violence on college campuses across the country?
Well, it's a great article. It's a great question. And when the Trump administration started enforcing Section 117 of the Higher Education Act a few years ago, they discovered $6 billion in undisclosed donations. Much of that was from China. This dovetails with the variety of controversies we saw about Confucius Institutes on college campuses corrupting the discussion about the evil that the Chinese Communist Party is doing around the world. So it would not shock me to learn that other foreign regimes are using this money to corrupt colleges and influence students. Some of our most elite institutions have become cesspools of anti-Semitism. And to me, the fix is simple. If universities aren't willing to comply with the law, then we must act. At a minimum, we must start to tax the endowments because, oh, by the way, university endowments are going the other way and plowing billions of dollars into foreign countries like China that do not share our interests. In many ways, investing in Chinese military companies that are building things designed to kill Americans in a future conflict. The whole situation is absurd.
I do have a question about China that I want to put to you in just a second, but back to what Lydia was talking about. Let me put this up on the screen. This was the really pertinent part from this NCRI report that Bari Weiss was highlighting. 2015 to 2020. Institutions that accepted money from Middle Eastern donors had on average 300% more anti-Semitic incidents than those institutions that did not. Now, Bari Weiss rightly raises the question, there may be a correlation, but is there a causation? What do you think?
Well, you've shown a strong correlation. I think it's too early to show a causation, but there's a lot of questions about who is funding groups like, Students for Justice for Palestine that are behind some of the most abhorrent anti-Semitic attacks that we have seen. And our colleges should be a place for free discussion, free debate, not a place where people can threaten to hurt or violently assault Jewish students. And for some leading figures, including some of my colleagues, to embrace the worst version of this hate, I think is absolutely abhorrent. So I think what Bari Weiss's article has done is tee up what should be an investigation led by Congress into this inability to comply with the law to determine whether this is causative as well.
All right, let's put your chairmanship hat on here when it comes to the Select Committee on China. Apparently next week, when they meet on the sidelines of the APEC conference in San Francisco, President Biden and China's Xi Jinping are going to announce a resumption of military-to-military communications between the U.S. and China. I take it that's a good thing.
Having a crisis communication channel that reduces the risks of miscommunication leading to conflict is a good thing. In the past, however, when we've asked for that, they've said no. They've said no for years now. And here's the real problem. As Biden has revived diplomatic and economic engagement as the foundation of our approach to China, they've slowed down key defensive activity that we need to take in order to defend ourselves from growing Chinese Communist Party aggression. For example, we haven't sanctioned Chinese officials. We don't have transparency on the spy balloon incident. And the administration has taken no action to either ban or force the sale of TikTok, which the evidence is showing is increasingly looking like a Chinese Communist Party influence platform. These are the things we need to do, and we cannot sacrifice just so Joe Biden can sit down with Xi Jinping in a room and get a photo op.
All right. Congressman Mike Gallagher, good to talk to you. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you.